Hi, I'm Kate Kruse. I'm the Associate Dean for Experiential Education and Curriculum at Hamline, and I'm here to talk to you about the Hamline Lawyering Skills Lab program. Actually, my first adventure in Skills Lab teaching wasn't at Hamline. It was at UNLV, where I was previously, and the idea of a Skills Lab came to me because I was both an evidence teacher and a clinic teacher. I taught a juvenile justice clinic, and as a clinic teacher, I was absolutely shocked that students were unable to, analyze a piece of evidence after taking an evidence class from me. And I also didn't really, as an evidence teacher, understand where the gap was, because I had a lot of exercises. It was a problem-based class. We did a lot of interactive stuff in class. And then I realized that it's actually a structural issue, not a teaching issue, that in evidence classes organized rule by rule, you learn the rules one at a time, you apply them one at a time. And in practice, you're confronted first with a piece of evidence, and you have to move bottom up from the piece of evidence to the rule. When I came to Hamline University School of Law, I joined a faculty that was already, charging forward in experiential education reform, and was there for the year where we really talked through what we wanted to do with our whole curriculum. And I brought the idea of skills labs, and it really got a lot of traction in the faculty. So that's what I'm talking about today. It's not the only thing in the experiential progression plan that we passed. It starts in the first year with a practice problem solving and professional responsibility course, which lays the foundation for the sort of the problem solving approach to lawyering that we want our students to learn. And it ends with some options for students to take a semester in practice, which is an extended immersion externship opportunity, or an experiential third year, where they can self-design an experiential third year with an advisory team of practicing lawyers and law faculty. Skills labs are in the second year. They're a second year requirement. They're going to apply to the students who are entering 1Ls this year. So next year, when they get to their second year, they're each going to have to take at least one skills lab. We had no skills labs in the curriculum when we passed this plan, so we've had to roll them out gradually over the last 3 semesters, or to have a robust enough program when their requirement kicks in. Now, one of the things we really wanted to avoid when we were developing the skills lab program was just really farming out skills labs to adjuncts. They are adjunct developed and taught. But we did want it to be like all theory in the class and all skills in the lab with no interaction in between. And it really, for me, focused on a difference between really specific skills training, which for a specific area of law, and more generalized skills training that we tend to do in skills classes, and that we hope students will transfer to settings that are beyond the particular learning experience they're having, like a clinic. So we wanted to build some generalized skills that would go throughout the labs. So all of the labs have been developed with the idea that they would teach at least 2 things. One is factual development, that students should be working from documents, case file materials, interviews of simulated clients or witnesses, and that they would involve client problem solving, and reinforcing our message that clients come with their own issues and concerns, and their legal issues are part of that. We have a general format for all the labs, and the one piece of that I really want to focus on is we decided that they would be appended to core bar courses in the second year. And the reason why is, well, there's a lot of them. Students flock to them. They tend to be large enrollment. They're kind of hard to integrate skills fully into them. And students are there for a variety of reasons. Some of them want to practice in the area. Some of them have no interest in practicing, and they just want the doctrinal background to pass the bar. So the Hamline Skills program allows students to pick their skills lab in the places where they're interested in practice, and get really kind of drill down into the specific skill development in that particular area. And in that way, it again also tries to combine this idea of practice-specific skills with generalized skills for kind of far transfer that's farther away from a practice area. I believe in far transfer. I teach, it's the justification for the clinical teaching I do, but I think what practitioners want is practice-ready skills in an area. So the labs focus on those. Our family law labs, students take a divorce from an initial client interview through negotiating a settlement agreement. They use child support calculators that are online in Minnesota. They use practice tools that are available to lawyers Our criminal procedure lab, students start with a police report, they spot issues, they take it through litigation of a suppression motion. My favorite one is Lab 2, where they've researched their issue based on the police facts in the police report, and in Lab 2 is the client that they interview and find out the client's version of the facts. We have a secure transaction lab where they work on drafting, negotiating a term sheet and financing agreement to securitize the acquisition of a business. And then we also have labs that are less practice area specific, like our constitutional law lab is focusing on the civil discovery process and making requests for a discovery and responding to them. That could be any, really any civil subject. It's a constitutional First Amendment Section 1983 case. And then lastly, we have 3 more labs that I don't have enough minutes to all talk about, but in our commercial law lab, we are developing it now. And just meeting with the professor who teaches it, he says, well, in sales and leases are mostly form contracts. It's not going to be that educational for students to work on this. And I said, well, hey, what a great opportunity for us to have a lab focused on how lawyers work with forms and what are some of the technology-assisted practice tools that are out there. So it's been a really interesting journey, and I'm happy to talk to you more about it at Table 7.